What's up? We are live with episode 8 of the OPTC podcast, joined today solely by Coach Coop.
What up?
We are going to be diving into a lot of things adult training based. We primarily coach athletes, middle school and elementary, even all the way through college, but we also have a super thriving adult population that's become a huge, not only mainstay of our clientele, but just a mainstay of our culture, like a group of people that come more consistently probably than anybody else that I'm aware of, especially in this gym and especially with the people that we have. So we're super thankful not only for that group of people, but we're also excited about the differences that it takes to train athletes versus training adults. So yeah, Coop, let's dive into that. I know we've talked even just a little bit off camera about the different types of necessities for adults, the different kinds of priorities. And yeah, I just want to hear your thoughts a little bit about what the difference between training athletes versus adults are, even by way of like goal setting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as an athlete, your goal is to get bigger, faster, stronger, whatever it is for your sport that's going to benefit you. But as an adult, it's a lot different just based on where you're at in life. Like, whether your goal is longevity or just feeling good or getting right, like back to the way your body should be feeling. Based on those things, like, you gotta kinda come up with a goal for yourself, and that's really what's gonna help you, like, kinda light your fire a little bit to get in and train every single day, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I think some of the bigger differences between at least the athletes we get to serve and the adults we get to serve are the different focuses. I think like you said, like kids are trying to get better for a specific purpose, and sometimes for adults it's like I'm just here because I know it's good for me. It's not super specific. Like some of them might be relatively happy with their level of fitness, with their physiques, with their health, but they're like I just know it's good for me, so and I want to go somewhere that I know is going to prioritize me as an individual versus just kind of being a number in a big group class, even though those can be fun too. We're not dogging group classes per se. It's just if you want a focus specific result, you got to do focus on specific things, even if they're not crazy complex or crazy different.
Right.
Right.
Can you see me?
Yeah, what's
Char-
up?
Charlotte,
Yes.
We're live, Charlotte.
we are live. You're here. Welcome to the podcast, Charlotte. Everybody, this is Charlotte. She's one of our adult coaches, and we were just discussing, Charlotte, the differences between coaching adults and coaching athletes and the different kind of priorities that we need to have, not only as an athlete, but also as an adult when it comes to training. So, Charlotte, now that you're here, I would love to ask you, when it comes to training adults and it comes to seeing these people like day in and day out, what's the biggest priority for you as a coach when it comes to making sure that people are getting what they need in a program?
Yeah, I would say, as long as they know, like, the top priorities that we have for them, like, consistency is a huge thing in my perspective to address with them, that I think is the biggest thing. Like, as long as we can't give them just an intense workout and expect that to be what's important. I think as long as they just are consistently showing up and doing what they can consistently, that makes the biggest difference.
Yeah, for sure. I think the big piece of consistency versus inconsistency is kind of what you said. Like, we're not here to give them workouts. Workouts are just a one-off way to like make yourself tired or to make other people tired. The consistency piece comes with training. That's why we're here to train. Training implies a focused and directed plan to progressively get towards the goals that they're trying to achieve. That's what training is versus working out. And I think that, to your point, we want to make sure that not only they're consistent in their execution, but consistent in practice, and to make it a part of their lives rather than just a short-sighted thing that they use in order to achieve just a certain outcome. Like, it's more process driven than it is outcome driven when it comes to adults training for the long term.
That piece that you were talking about, you see that kinda in the January spike or whatever, like, when everyone's got their New Year's resolutions to get fit, and then they just stop, or, right before spring break when they're trying to look good for the beach, but really, in reality, like, that consistency piece of training year-round and training a lot is gonna benefit them way more in the long run over anything else.
I think the coolest part of the majority of the adults we have is we have like two different like pockets of adults. We have relatively young parents of kids that go here, and then we have like people over like 55. We have this sweet little nest of people that are here to just be better in their 60s and 70s than they were in their 40s and 50s. And that's super encouraging to me because those are some of the most consistent people. Charlotte, when you are coaching like someone, I don't know, kind of like on the younger sphere of like our adult side of things, like I don't know, say like Riley versus training somebody who's more on the other end of the spectrum, more like a Carrie, what do you, or a Karen or like a whoever, like who do you, how do you think that you prioritize differently the way you coach them?
Really dialing in on the specific goals and needs that they have, like physical limitations, or I guess I don't know, it just totally depends. Like, for example, for Carrie, I would have a bigger view on coaching for her as in like, what can we do to not just like, for example, like she's not there to improve physique, I mean, she might be, but like for her, it's improving longevity for her. And I guess that's for everyone, but like Riley might have more specific goals, like she wants to get more toned in one area or, lock in nutrition wise in a different area. And for Carrie, I think I feel like the older you get, maybe the more physical limitations that you have, and that's something that we would focus on more, like with Carrie versus Riley. Unless Riley had like something just happened with her knee, then obviously then we would change that in the moment. So it totally depends when they walk through the door, like how you're going to be that day.
Side of the demographic that we train, I mean, most of their goals and like values are being able to move around like with their grandkids and stuff and be able to walk and do just normal daily functions. So like when they come in and train, like that's what they're training for. So being able to just do basic daily movements and get stronger in those positions, like that's kind of what we dial in on that older end of the spectrum that we have.
Definitely. I think our goal, just kind of focus for them, is to enjoy making it a part of their daily routine. Like they're not here to be bodybuilders. Pretty much nobody is here to really be a bodybuilder, even in our adult group. It's just to be a healthy, happy version of themselves that can do the things that they want to do without it being hard. Like you said, Coop, if they're trying to play with their grandkids, they don't want to be winded playing with their grandkids. They want to be able to get down on like hands and knees, like bear position, like hang out with their like young grandkids, but also like be able to withstand a 4 or 5 year old jumping on their back while they're down there and not be like on their way to the hospital. Like they want to have fun. They want to live a full, happy, healthy life. And even people like Colin, shout out Colin, who has been coming and has been super consistent over the last several months. And even when you get into something like a snowmobile accident and you have some serious limitations after that, you still understand that like, wow, like had I not been consistent in my training for so many months, like this could have been so much worse.
It's like those freak accidents just happen, and when you get in a freak accident like that, you bounce back stronger because you started out strong. And if you're weak and fragile, like that freak accident could take you from like a 2-month recovery to like 6 to 8 months.
Welcome, Michael.
Thanks.
It's
What
good
up,
to have you
dude?
on the pod.
Glad to be here.
Just gonna say another thing, like to go off of that, is that they know why they're coming in consistently and why they're doing it. Like it's not just a check the box thing for them, just because they don't want to hear it from us when they haven't been coming consistently, or like they just like it impacts their everyday life, not just the second they leave the gym. They feel
For
like,
sure.
okay, yeah, I did that and I'm good for the day.
Absolutely. Junior, now that you're here, I would love for you to kind of touch on the topic of like not only like the physical gains that can be made, but like the mental and probably the relational gains that people get just from being consistent here in general.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that before, like I just joined, but I think kind of the big difference between like adult training and athlete training is that athletes come in and like they kind of all have the same goal, right? It's like they're there to get better at their sport and they want to get stronger, they want to get more athletic. And that's pretty much just across the board with athletes, no matter what age you're at. With in my mind, with adults, it's kind of more like you have to meet them where they're at. And we see like a lot bigger range of like different age groups that we have to kind of cater to and like see where they're at in life, what their goals are. But yeah, as you said, it's like some of them, some of the adults might come in and their goal is going to be like, yeah, I still want to get jacked and I still want to like lift a crap ton of weight and feel like I'm young. Other adults come in there, it's like, you know what, like I love the social aspect. I love the community. Like I feel like I'm a part of something here. And in that sense, it's like they come in, they kind of just want to feel good for the rest of like their day and stuff like that.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think we have a pretty good mix of people who are here for the social, the people who are here for the physical, like results that they can get. But everyone uses this place for what it's for. It is just as much of a social place. It's for a lot of adults, it's their third place. We talked about this the other day where they have work and they have home and then they have the gym, and that's like where they have their safe like place that they enjoy, that they like to go to for a myriad of reasons. But obviously the more that they are willing to invest into a place like this, the more they're going to get out of it, not just from the social aspect but from the physical resilience and from the physical gains perspective too.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say that's, yeah, another thing that I kind of forgot to touch on. But yeah, I mean, you get to a certain point in your life where it's like, you know what, I'm never going to be able to be the like college athlete that I used to be. I'm never going to be as young as I used to be. But the awesome thing about like adult training is that there's still so many different things that you can go after. And like you said, there's still so many like benefits you can see for the rest of your life. Like no matter how old you are, like just feeling better getting up and down from your chair, feeling better going up and down the stairs, feeling better playing with your kids or your grandkids and whatnot. And honestly, I feel like that's a pretty big reason as to why a decent amount, maybe not a majority, but like a decent amount of our adults, like that's why they come to us. Cause like I think we do a pretty good job of kind of assessing where they're at in their life, the specific goals that they want to achieve at this point. And yeah, like kind of like I said earlier, it's just like they're coming in to feel better, not necessarily like achieve a super specific goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlotte, what's been probably, let's say in the last couple of months, one of your favorite moments that you've been able to have with any one of our adult group members? It's the first thing that just comes to your mind.
There was actually a lot that actually just came to my mind, but I would say Ellie was in and she brought her son with her to um get a workout in, and he was doing, I can't remember how many plates it was on the sled that he was pushing. He was pushing it obviously up and down the turf. And she was standing next to me and we were watching him just like in awe of the weight that he was doing. And she said to me like, "That's crazy. I couldn't move that an inch." And I was like, "I bet you could." Like she was totally underestimating herself. And I can't remember if I didn't make her go over there. I think it was more of her idea. Like we both kind of decided like, let's just go over there and see. And she moved it probably like 5 yards.
It's
And
awesome.
so that was pretty awesome. Like she totally thought there's no way. And then she just absolutely crushed it. And I wish I remembered the exact weight, but it was an insane amount of weight. And it was so awesome seeing like her demeanor change, like
Yeah,
after seeing how strong she actually was that she didn't realize. But that was so awesome.
that's good. That's you being there to help cultivate confidence, right? Part of the point.
I think quickly going off of that, what's something that's also really cool is like we've had a decent amount of our adults like Scott and Carrie, Nancy and Colin, like Jim, Sheila, John and Karen, and probably other people too who have like gone on these like pretty big trips, and for some of them depending on what you're doing, like pretty labor inducing. And every single time they've come back, or like even while they're there and they've told us, they're like, I didn't really realize it like when I'm in the gym and stuff, but I feel so much better just doing like these everyday tasks and things that they like might not have been able to do a few months ago or like a year ago and something like that. So I think that's really awesome to see is like them realizing the work paying off like outside of the gym.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
I have another story. It's a quick one.
Go ahead.
When Nancy and Sheila went on their mission trip, they were talking about like different excursions that they would maybe have to do, like hiking and stuff. And of course, like when you're going to a mission trip, you're not sure exactly what to expect. But I remember asking them about it when they got back, and they were saying they went on this like huge hike with a bunch of the young kids in the organization, and they're like, they said all of the younger kids were like way more out of breath than they were. And they were like saying how awesome it was that they know it's from all the work they've been putting in the gym, you know?
Yeah,
So they're like,
absolutely.
yeah, without coming here, we'd have been way more whooped than all of them. It would have been miserable, but they did it and they said it was hard, but they weren't like struggling like the other people who were younger than them.
Yeah.
Like that's so awesome.
Yeah. Dude, fitness is for life. Like it really is. It makes your whole life easier, like regardless of what your goals are. If you just like we've been saying, if you stay consistent, if you do the right things consistently, you're not gonna have a negative result when it comes to fitness. But I know from my perspective as being someone who primarily hung out with the adults and like the middle schoolers, but for years and years, like seeing the way that the three of you have not only just grown as coaches from like the X's and O's standpoint, but the relational side, the side that you have made yourself known to our adult members. You have been vulnerable. You've gotten close with some of them. Like the fact that the relationship piece is alive and well and vibrant here at this gym shows me that like you get it. We get it. We know why we're here. Yes, our goal is to deliver a top-notch product in not only our coaching but our programming. But that old adage, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, just rings true time and time again. Because if they don't know you, they're not going to trust you for very long. And if they do know you, then the respect grows, the trust grows, and then the results grow because they want to be consistent, because they want to see you guys. They want to not let you down. They also not let themselves down because they know how much you're invested in them. I think that's just a recipe for success for everybody involved, no matter how you slice it. So I personally am so grateful for all three of you and the way that you've invested in and been invested in by this adult group.
Yeah, they all feel like family, and that's so awesome. Like work doesn't feel like work.
It's huge, especially when you have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning in order to go be there.
That is the hardest part, but it's when I get to the gym, it's so worth it.
Yeah, dude, when you have like people that you haven't seen in a while, like Carrie came in the other day after not being in for like a month, and she just came up and like hugged me and Junior. Like that's awesome. Like how many places are you getting that at? You know, like that's that relational piece that I think is really cool with the people that we coach and the clients that we have, especially with our adults.
Without a doubt. Yeah. If there's any, I guess, kind of wrapping up, like any sort of like parting wisdom when it comes to the idea of just coaching adults better and like coaching adults differently from athletes, like I feel like having the perspective of coaching both gives you guys so much more. It makes you guys more equipped to be good at all things. Because if you can coach a middle schooler, you can coach someone in their 50s and 60s, and if you can coach a high schooler, you can coach someone in their 30s and 40s. But and vice versa, and any way you slice it, the more you coach and the more you understand people, the better you're going to become at coaching anybody. So Coop, what would be your perspective, like being the person who coaches the widest range the most frequently, like going all the way from like our 9-year-olds all the way up to yeah, like one of our oldest people? Like what do you see is like a sweeping principle of coaching people no matter their age?
The biggest principle for me is the trust piece. Like if you can figure out how to kind of like be relational and get them to trust you, they will do whatever you say, even if it's like semi wrong. Like I know I've coached some people wrong on some of the programs just because I didn't know what the exercise was or I had a brain fart or whatever, and they did it. Even if it looked stupid or felt stupid, it's like they trust me enough and our relationship is good enough that they're willing to like try something out, even if like I have no idea what it is and I'm an idiot sometimes, and
For
then
sure.
we'll figure out what happens from there.
Junior, same question for you. Like, what do you feel like coaching people at a lot of different ages and a lot of different ability levels, something that you feel like is true at all levels?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly kind of had a very similar answer to Cooper, but the thing you have to work on first is building that initial relationship, right? Because like you said, no matter if it's with like middle schooler, high schooler, adult, if you don't have if you don't have that trust piece and you don't like kind of show them explicitly that like you are invested in them and that like you care about them and that's why we're here. It's because like we do truly care about like your journey and like where you're at in your like fitness journey and whatnot. But Yeah, I would say hands down that is the biggest thing that you coaches need to focus on first. And then from there, it's like the easy part because then like it's almost like you're just hanging out with them, especially with the like adult crew.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And that's what I think's really, really cool about it is like once you get that relationship nailed down, you both know each other very well, you both trust each other, then you know you're still helping them with whatever you give them. But also it's like, yeah, I'm just here to hang out with so and so and it's a great time.
Charlotte, how do you feel like you've grown as a coach? I mean, you were here as an intern, like working with adults, then you went to another place and did more like the one-on-one, like personal training, and then now being back here for the last year or so, like how do you feel like you, as like an adult coach specifically, have grown?
I put myself in an athlete perspective or like an adult being coached perspective, and I would say that's why I am an adult coach now for OPTC is because I know how it feels to be, I guess, on the other side of things in that environment, and I just take so heavily like how I was coached when I was an athlete there and applying that to how I want everyone else to feel. But now roles are reversed. And I think it's so important because everyone just wants to be seen and known. And that's something that I love to focus on is how we do personalized programming. We have to know the person deeply and intentionally to know exactly what they need and what they want. Another thing with that is the trust is like they know that what we give them is even if we don't know exactly what the exercise is because someone else put it on there in different wording, like we know that we're going to give them something that's going to benefit them, even if it's not the exact thing. And they know that our intent behind it is good. So
Sure.
I got a little sidetracked, but
No, it's
yeah, I would
good.
say that would be the biggest thing is just everyone wants to be seen. And I think we do a great job at letting them know that they are seen and heard.
Yeah. I think seen, known, and supported. I think that's a big
Yeah.
thing. Like people want to be known and be loved, knowing that they're not perfect. Like this is a place that we try to make a not for being soft, but to be a safe space for people to come and to be loved and to be known and to grow. Because part of being known is being known that you're not perfect, and there are people who care about you around you enough to help you grow. That's a place that you want to keep going back to, not because they think like you're worthless and you'd be better if you were this. It's, hey, you're awesome. Let's make you more awesome. Like, let's make you the
Yeah,
most awesome version of yourself.
we love you so much, we're gonna hold you accountable
Exactly.
in love. Mhm.
Absolutely. Well, cool. I feel like this has been pretty valuable time of kind of recognizing the differences of adult training, but also like kind of this the same principles that go along with no matter who you're training, no matter who's being coached, the principles of fitness and the principles of progression, the ideas of what people need being the priority are always going to be the same. They're just tailored at different levels, right? But Junior, do you have any parting thoughts from the being the leader of our adult group and our adult training of stuff that you'd want to give us drop some wisdom on us?
It's a tough question right on the spot.
He loves
Yeah.
doing that.
I mean, I don't know. It's from the time that I've been here, it's just been everything that we've talked about, right? It's like no matter who walks through those doors, it's like no matter what stage in life that they're at, it is like it's our job to be fully invested in them. Even if they're not like at least at the beginning, at least if they're not like fully invested in us right away. You know what I mean? It's like that doesn't matter. It's still our job to make a big positive impact and beneficial impact on their life. And I think that if we can do that, no matter what that looks like for each different client, then I think we're in a good spot. And I think everything kind of falls into place after that.
I agree. Cool. Well, guys, thanks for being here for episode 8 of the OPTC podcast. We're here to improve the lives and performance of others, right? So until next time, we'll see you guys here on the podcast. Take it easy.